Michael, thank you very much. It's become something of an annual clash, as you say, in the Championship. And for the fifth meeting of the teams in as many years, Munster champions Tipperary start with Darren Gleeson in goal. He's playing in his 14th Championship match. In the full back line, Cathal Barrett and James Barry continue to shine alongside the very experienced Michael Cahill of Thurles Sarsfields. The win over Cork enabled Clonmel footballer Seamus Kennedy to make a very impressive debut at this level, and he's sharing a half-back line today with the Marr brothers, Ronan and Porrick. Meanwhile, Brendan Marr continues to exert a big influence in midfield with the towering Ballina man, Michael Breen, number 9. Dan McCormack of Borrisalee was another to blossom in Tip's opening challenge in Munster. He's at half-forward with Patrick Bonnermar and Noel McGrath, while the inside line has John Bubbles O'Dwyer linking up with scorer-in-chief Seamus Callanan and relative newcomer at championship level, John McGrath. Well, Limerick entrusts the captaincy to goalkeeper Nicky Quaid as they bid to beat Tipperary for the 24th time ever. The full back line is changed somewhat as veteran Tom Condon is joined by a Hans Dan Morrissey and talented newcomer Richie English. There's another championship debutant at wing back. Diarmuid Burns was Limerick's triumphant under-21 captain here last September. Gavin O'Mahony and Seamus Hickey have been here before. And you can say pretty much the same thing for the centre field pairing of James Ryan and Paul Brown. At half-forward, an intriguing combination of Newman Garroyd Hagerty, Shane Dowling starting his 17th championship match, and another debutant, that's Barry Nash at number 12. And inside them are Graham Mulcahy and Declan Hannon, plus the young hurler who grabbed the headlines this time last year, Cian Lynch, with 3 points in his first ever championship match. The good news, Michael, is that the rain seems to be easing. We're looking forward to this one. Throw in very shortly.
Yeah, the rain has been easing. We are looking forward to it, and I suppose on a day like today around the country, Gerlach. By the way, you're also very welcome to the programme.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Yes, yes. It's very light. The last day we were here, well, the last day Henry and myself were together here.
Yes.
Except today is not cold, you know, and the rain has lightened a small bit.
Yeah.
So a day like today is a day that hurlers love hurling, actually.
Yes.
You know, it's not windy, and the big danger is, of course, the ground is very, very slippy, the danger of making mistakes. But apart from that, we'll forget about the weather and we'll judge it on the game after that, you know.
Well, it's unusual, I suppose, Henry, for the hurling, in terms of what we're seeing on television, to try and live up to the football, because the football match that we've just seen there was very exciting.
Yeah, and I think up to now the GA Championship hasn't really took off, but last weekend the Tip footballers having a great win out here.
Yes.
Last night with Galway pulling off a shock in Mayo. Right. We nearly had one just there now, so hopefully the GA Championship is starting to take off. But like that, and I think Pat just mentioned at the end, you know, it wasn't about short passing or tactics or anything like that. Today is a day for keeping things very, very simple. Yeah. I would agree, Ger's comment. The skillfulest hurlers will win out today because their touch will be better than someone else. But it's to keep things simple. Move the ball fast and don't be doing the short passing, because this is where mistakes will happen. And whoever minimises the less mistakes will probably win out here today.
There's an interesting clash, Ger, between these two teams, because Tip are the Munster champions, and yet we know of Tip, they can be brilliant and there can be the other side of them. And then we have Limerick, and we know the changes they've made to the team and all that kind of stuff. So there's a question mark, I suppose, about them. Although, as Henry said, we had the same question marks about Galway footballers last night who made a lot of changes, and it worked out okay.
And, Michael, it's been coloured by what you said there at the start. The Tip won so easily last year.
Yeah.
But the 2 years before that, Limerick actually won the game.
That's right.
When they were underdogs as well.
Yeah.
Now, Limerick play at their best exactly as what Henry says. When they play off the cuff, when they just tear into the game, with a plan now, not headless stuff.
Yes.
But with a plan, when they play the Limerick way, which is with spirit, with fire, with passion, and total, I don't say disrespect, but disregard for the reputation of the opposition. And they play especially good against Tipperary when they do that. So we're hoping that we'll see that. You'll be able to judge after 5 minutes today whether Tip are going to be in this game.
And the man who's going to take this one will be the number 11, Shane Dowling. Had a toenail problem, I believe, in the last fortnight, but he's fit to start. And he puts this one well and truly over the bar. From an error by...
Staying kind of in tight, but Cian Lynch is out in the wing and Shane Dowling seems to be kind of roving around. He's gone in the corner now, so I think they're just going to stay on the move in general as expected.
Let's see how the changes work out, and will they have the desired effect? Diarmuid Burns lost that one, and here comes Michael Breen. Sending it inside towards Calnan, couldn't quite get to it. Why didn't Breen it in the first time? He does the second and scores. Remember, he got a goal when he came on against Limerick in the Gaelic grounds this time last year, and after just 6 minutes of play he finally finished this one. Second time of asking, a goal for Tipperary.
Yeah, a little mistake there by Dan Morrissey, the full back, but he was probably expecting a harder hand pass. Just, you know, he hassled and harried there, right, and just nudged Gavin O'Mahony out over the sideline. And interesting now to see what Tip will do with this one.
Limerick under pressure. Seamus Calnan. Dan Morrissey trying to get it out there. Picked up by Patrick Bonner again. Bonner playing it through here. An opportunity. Stopped. Really well stopped. Finished in the net eventually, however. Once again, Michael Breen is up there in the thick of all of that. John McGrath was here involved. That one from Calnan came in, and it was Breen who eventually knocked it in past the goalkeeper. 2 goals for him after 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, the tactic there was no boxing out by the Limerick defence there when that ball was struck. Smart save from Nicky Quaid. You would be thinking that Calnan would knock it over the bar. There wasn't really a goal on. Good save from Nicky Quaid, but when it was up in the air, Michael Breen was in like a flash, like, and that's his second goal, right? Unbelievable.
Well, they basically had 2 goal attacks in the opening 9 minutes, and they have scored from both of them. That's a good return there from Barry Nash. Gets a white flag. Player who scored 5 points here in last year's under-21 final. Well, they needed that. They got the opening point of the match, and they're already behind here by 2 goals to 2 points.
The confidence of the Tip forward will be in direct correlation to that. And this is an important strike for Calnan. Important he gets this one for Tip.
Lifted it well, strikes it nicely. Point results, first of the day. And only basically 2 attacks, 2 goals.
Well, that's the thing, and this is a big score now for Shane Dowling, and he's normally very good at these.
He's got 1 already, Donald, as you suggest, and this time he's got a second. Well hit Limerick, and he's only played 1 and a bit matches. Dan Morrissey goes across here. Down on the ground at the moment is Richie English. The referee is calling across John O'Dwyer. And James McGrath from Westmeath will have some words. He's telling James Ryan, the Limerick midfielder, to move away. And he's going to have words here. There's probably going to be a yellow card shown to the man they call Bubbles, the 24-year-old from Killinall. So it's the first. Oh, it's a red card. John O'Dwyer is sent off after just under 14 minutes. And there it was, a striking offence is what the referee has decided. Donald O'Grady.
Well, I would have to say that, that's John O'Dwyer has been sent off a couple of times this year, and, his temperament is suspect at times. He got a little bit of a flick maybe on the tackle, and, but in the current climate, you can't do things like that. Everybody knows that with the amount of cameras at matches, etc., etc. But even from that silly mistake there, and this puts a different complexion on things now, and this will raise the Limerick crowd, and if they get a score from this, it's everything in the melting pot.
Well, you're absolutely right. There are more cameras here than you'd find at Dublin Airport, so they're down to 14 players. They've got a bit of a lead at this stage, but there's a long, long way to go. Graham Mulcahy trying to make an angle for himself, or somebody else. Cian Lynch hoops, goes again, stopped then in the end, trying to come out with it there and get it as far as Michael Breen. Breen under pressure. Limerick will surely get an enormous lift by the fact that they are now going to have an extra man for the best part of an hour in this game. Richie English across as far as Tom Condon, in as far as James Ryan. Ryan trying to dodge away from Dan.
Seamus Callan in the edge of the square, doing so well. Silly really by John Bubbles to wire, but he has a bit of suspect temperament when it comes to it.
This will bring it down to a 3-point game, and it does so. Can make use of the 15 against 14 position in which they find themselves. Cian Lynch slipping it out here cleverly. There's an opportunity for Declan Hannon, and Hannon hits it very nicely indeed to get his first point of this match. He's a very, very gifted hurler.
Well, that was far more clever, by Cian Lynch. Knocked the ball out, two-man inside line. Cian Lynch running through, just knocked it in. But you can see straight away there's an extra pep in Limerick step. The first 10 minutes they weren't really in the game.
There in the halfback is Gavin O'Mahony coming here to attack the ball, gets it beautifully. Tries to measure this one down towards Barry Nash, but that's hit the corner flag, and that's been... Just watch this again. Was this one over the line? Goalkeeper, the ball, I would say Hawkeye would have had a view of it anyway.
Yeah, but he doesn't adjudicate on goals, Ger. So all the one.
Combining there, and Shane Dowling was the man in the sandwich.
Well, there was lots of hands around him.
And Shane Dowling can once again perform his party piece from just outside the D, high up into the air, over the bar. He's got four. Made his debut against Cork in the championship. This one should be Diarmuid Byrnes again. Rises up well, slips a little hand pass across here as far as Richie English. And that's straight back as far as Mickey Cahill. Cahill has a player inside him in support. Worked forward. Back to McCormack again it comes. The 23-year-old making inroads. Well supported here. Driving forward is Brendan Marr. Needs a bit of assistance. Gets it from Noel McGrath. Forward once again. Marr had kept on moving, but his path to goal blocked off by Gavin O'Mahony. Then in support is Paul Brown. Back as far as Tom Condon. Huge one from Condon. Way down towards Dowling. Jumping up there for it. In support of the backs, Cahill Barrett keeping it away from Dowling initially. Then Michael Cahill. Back eventually towards Ronan Marr. And Marr across to the far side of the field. It was intended for John McGrath, but across there instead is Seamus Hickey. Happier, I think, this year at left half back. Didn't quite have the pace for cornerback last year. McGrath wins that battle, stuck to his task, won it back, gives it to Dan McCormack, and then in the end Paddy Marr diagonally across the field here. Seamus Cowlin racing from full forward, beautiful ball back in. He's got 2 goals already, and Michael Breen now has got a point as well. 2 goals and a point for the 21-year-old from Ballina.
Clever run there by Breen, and excellent little tap through by Callan. Callan loves coming out to that corner of the pitch. Beautiful.
Seamus Hickey into a 3-man inside forward line. Shane Dowling went in for it, thundered into it. Ball broke off his stick and broke out. But now it's been picked up once again by Limerick, and they have an opportunity here through Cian Lynch, having taken the pass of Garrod Hegarty to put it over the bar. And now there's one between them once again. Cian Lynch with his first this afternoon. 2-2 to 7 points. That's 8-7.
Well, that all came as a result, of a tip clear. At every shot here now is big pressure because they need all the scores they can get down to 14 men. You have to take all your chances, and Wet Day can slide off the Hurley very easily unless he strikes it crisply.
Well, let's see how he does. He struck it crisply, and that's a second for him. So 2 from Titans, gets it from his team captain, Brendan Marr. Collected here by Seamus Kennedy. Hounded there by James Ryan. Marr once again, that's Brendan Marr. Up there beyond Bonner Marr towards John McGrath. McGrath gets it, plays it here to Noel McGrath, his brother. Back to Callan, there's a goal here. Oh, yes! A 3rd goal for Tipperary. And this time it's Seamus Callan, and there are 28 minutes gone.
Drawn into it, and ball broke to Noel McGrath. Beautiful pass. Seamus Callan didn't really have to break stride, took the ball and did the right thing, shot it down low right away from Mickey Craig. Great score for Tip.
Oh, what a scorer this man is. That's his 23rd ever championship goal. At the other end, over his left shoulder, Garrod Hegarty hits it, and hits it well. Well, on the ground where his dad, Jerv, back in 1984, played in a Munster minor final. Drew that day. Oh, it was an All-Ireland final, I beg your pardon. It was the day of the centenary final, and they drew that day, and I think they won the replay against Kilkenny, another tall man. This is so far back, it is 85 metres from the target, with the angle about 90 metres. Can he make it? Oh, it's an enormous point. What a score. 5 for Shane Dowling. That was an absolutely brilliant.
Knocked the ball into Mickey Quaid's hand when there was a point on. So, Michael Ryan, the tip manager, won't be happy with that, with those contributions.
Paddy Marr had his progress impeded there. Still trying to win it back. Bit of a stalemate. Eventually it's Graham Mulcahy out to James Ryan, and James Ryan puts it over the bar. Good point by James Ryan. It's his first one this afternoon, an important one. It means it's a 2-point game once again. 3 minutes to go to half time. So not much to choose between the teams, but Limerick with the extra man, James Ryan rather, who took a very good position. And Ryan's clear is going to drop a little bit short here. Mickey Cow was having a go at it. Mulcahy gets it as far as Dowling. They could do it a big score. They'll settle for a point instead. Shane Dowling has now got his 6th point, and that is the first to come from open play. For a moment there, I was just thinking, would he ever go for a goal? He was 20 metres out, happy enough to put it up and over.
Yeah, well, if he had gone for a goal.
Michael Breen keeps it moving. Dan McCormack looks it back as far as Paddy Marr. Marr diagonally over to Calden. Almost plays the game at his own pace and eases this one beautifully over. He's now got a goal and 3 points. That was a beautiful score. The way in which it came about, diagonally over to him. Nothing hurried, nothing rushed. This is a master in action. 3-4 to 11
very difficult
points.
to defend those balls, Gerard. If you're as full-back, if you come out in front and the ball is played inside, well, there's a goal on, so you have to give the try as properly as they could be. But a chance for Tip now, difficult one for Seamus Callan, and you know, it's coming up to the half-time whistle, vital score.
Yeah, we're 3 minutes into stoppage time now, and he makes little of any area or angle of difficulty like that. So he's now got a goal. He's got 4 points, 1 from play.
With me in studio, and I suppose, lads, that the talk of that first half is quite simple. It's about the Tip goals and the sending off.
Yeah, I suppose that's been the story of the first half, to be honest. And here comes the first one. Michael Breen, who was involved in a lot of goals, very athletic, brushed through, and Dan Morrissey made a mistake. It got scrappy then, and we said at the beginning of the programme, it's a team who makes the least mistakes, and this was very much a mistake. And Dan Morrissey has had a nervous game, struggled there with the ball, and next thing Michael Breen, who's so athletic, as Gerald will show the next goal now.
Now, you see, I suppose Michael Ryan was looking for a Mick Finlay type player in the middle of the field, a powerful man with a huge work rate. Now, watch Breen here coming in. He should be tracked by Paul Brown, isn't tracked by Paul Brown, and charging in, taking a chance and putting the ball in the net. Now, you'll see him clearly here. He's way out of the picture, but he's watching the play and he's going to take the chance. And that's what you need from players. You need those unselfish runs from players. 9 times out of 10 they don't walk out, but the one time they do, it is lethal.
And last we said about Tipperary and the skill levels. John McGrath to Noel McGrath to Seamus Callan, and the Finnick was just emphatic right into the bottom corner, gave Nicky Quaid no chance. And Tip got 3 chances and they took the 3 of them, and that has been the difference of the game. Limerick have not threatened the goal so far.
Yes.
Obviously, Bubbles was sent off at the 14 minutes.
Yeah.
But the goals are keeping Tip well ahead, and you know, Seamus Callan is calling all sorts of troubles in there for Dan Morrissey. You know.
And as well as that, Henry, Gavin O'Mahony is now the free man, so really you can use it as a sweeper.
Yes.
So really, what you do, you'd make sure he's in front of Canlan the whole time. He's getting lost. He's gone out one wing. He's back out the other wing. We're watching here, coming out the midfield. He should be planked there in front of that to cut off the danger.
Is this the kind of situation that you actually need to get George at half time so the manager can sit down and say, listen, let me talk to you about this?
Exactly, and he has to say it right. Richie English is a natural fullback. Played under fullback the 21s last year, played for Mary I. Was brilliant there. Nobody cleaned him out. You know, in this scenario now with Mahoney in front of him, he would be ideal for Canlan. You know, and definitely they need to put somebody else on Breen rather than Paul Brown. Paul Brown hasn't the work rate for that, so they need to change that as well.
I was looking a couple of times during that first half, Henry, over to the sideline here, and John O'Dwyer was sitting in the dugout with his head in his hands. He really can't, I think, complain about being sent off. I don't think he was even trying to complain.
No, I think he's very disappointed himself, and there's no doubt about it. We spoke so highly of him over the years about what he can do with the ball in hand, but this is another side of him that he needs to start out. His discipline, his attitude, and just that attitude is not good. Rich English, who was getting the better of him, he just swings out and is straight in front of James McGrath, and he had no choice only to give him the red card. And I think that's, we no doubt about him. He can make the ball top, but it's about his attitude of keeping his cool, his discipline, and for the team. And his head was in his hands, because I've been there myself, unfortunately. You feel like you've let down your other players. And he has, and he's put him in.
It's a 25,531, and it's Dan McCormack immediately mounting the first attack of the second half. As you say, it has a very strange scoring card, but now that is going to change, because Noel McGrath has put over a point and he becomes the 3rd Tipperary player to score in this match. They made a very good start then to the second half.
Beautiful, skillful score there from Noel McGrath. Just flicked it up in his hand, and very short little swing there. Stand that, Ger. And you know, how many times have we been here in the commentary position and you talk about discipline and ill-discipline there. Graham Mulcahy had taken his catches. He would have had to hit the ball off his hurley, being pressurised by tight tip players, and silly little pull and a little flick across him there, handing, you know, a cast-iron chance there to Shane Dowling, and he'll definitely point this.
First free of the second half for him. The only Na Piarsaigh player starting this match after their great success on St. Patrick's Day. He's given himself plenty of time over this one, maximum care, and why not? Because he is once again flawless with his finish. Foul as his man in midfield, Brendan Maher, was coming through. Down he went, and the referee correctly and stands over this. Just outside the 20-metre line. Goal and 4 points from an opening half. His goal coming after 28 minutes. Went a little low with this one. Out come the defenders. Away goes Diarmaid Burns. Solos out of that. Into midfield towards James Ryan, who committed the foul on Brendan Maher a few minutes ago. They've lost the ball again. And this time it is John McGrath trying to make inroads. Paul Brown can't do an awful lot to try and deny him space. It comes out to Seamus Callan, swings it in, drops short again. Lost into the corner here towards Barry Nash. Got a nice point earlier on. Haven't seen enough of him, however, but we see him here, and he's put this one wide.
Michael Breen with a point from play. That's 3 points from play for midfield and forward line. So really they're struggling in that department. Double Dwyer normally chips in with 3 or 4 points in the game, and I think he's a big loss.
That's another one that is requiring the intervention of Hawkeye. Seamus Callan is absolutely certain that whether it's a toe or a kneel, they're having a right good look at it.
Yeah, well, to be confirmed shortly. But it was inside or outside, and you know, it's as good that Hawkeye is there really, because you know, there's a situation, a lot of matches down here in Thurles, and it's very frustrating for forwards if you do get a score and it's ruled out by the umpires, because it's difficult enough. Ball travels so quickly these days, and it's a white ball, very difficult to see at times for the umpires.
It looks to me like it's a difficult call for the fourth official, or the fifth official in this case. Dickie Murphy is in charge of Hawkeye today. Obviously we'd have had a result by now, and eventually we do get a decision. It must be a very close one thing. It's a point. It's a Seamus Callan back there tracking Cathal Barrett. Very decisive. Down through the centre here towards John McGrath. Caught it above the head of Seamus Hickey. Fires it away from outside the 45-metre line. No requirement for Hawkeye this time. Straight as a die from John McGrath. His first point this afternoon. And now the lead is stretched somewhat, and there are 5 between them. 3-8 to 12 points. Declan Hannon, something special needed from Declan. Back in across here. They need a goal, Limerick. Can they produce it? It's Shane Dowling. Stopped. So many Tipperary players back there. Back out as far as Hannon once again. They'll take a point, and he's got it. Second, 1 in each half. The lead is now back to 4.
Yeah, good play there by Dowling when he was caught there. He likes to favour the left-hand side, so, you know, Tip know that, and they stuck to their task, and he knocked it out to Declan Hannon, who played a percentage. And
well, 2 defenders after him, and then he slides in towards the line. They're questioning it. Did it go out? Gavin O'Mahony is convinced it did.
Angle, or slightly better angle, you know, he didn't strike it high enough. What did Oscar Wilde say about being careless twice?
He's got an option, Donald, to go short here, which he does towards Noel McGrath, and Noel McGrath duly plants it over the bar. McGrath's got 2 now in this second half.
He's neither in or out, and I think that's the problem. Seamus Callan is playing a clever game, and Tip are getting heads up, so I think Limerick need to really go at Tip if they're going to.
Well, a nice bit of analysis there showing us Gavin O'Mahony's positioning and so on, but while that was happening, it's an 8th point for Shane Dowling. So 4 points between the teams, and we are looking at now about, 10 minutes. They need something special from him. He'll be disappointed not to have started. That was Hickey, had his pocket pinch picked that time by Noel McGrath, and McGrath does the needful in spectacular fashion. 3 for him now in the second half, and he's really turning on the style. It's a ball that Limerick should have cleared, and in particular Seamus Hickey pinched decisively. 5 between them again. in their league campaign. And he's certainly a player who can get a point or two. They'll need it. Right now it's Seamus Calnan with a goal and 5 so far. Swung into the left and the again came down onto McGrath. I think I heard the referee's whistle immediately after that, and it's a yellow card for Seamus Hickey.
Yeah, he made a diving tackle there, was just a little bit short, came down
over the bar and put 6 points between the teams. And with 8 minutes or maybe even 7 to go, that should set up Tipperary very nicely. Ender's ready to do so, so he opts to put it over, and he's got a 9th.
Well, Jared, the wisdom would be, knock the ball over the bar, get an old scrappy goal if you can, 5 points down, and then it becomes 2, and then that's when the pressure comes on. And Tip played most of the game with 14 men, a bit of fatigue here and there, and once the momentum is with a team with 5 minutes to go, it's very hard to get it back.
Fumbled by Seamus Hickey. I think rattled by that yellow card a little while ago. Can't have really any. Over there to try and take possession was Kevin Downs. Couldn't do so. It's Paddy Maher instead. Well, Paddy Maher is meant to be the left half back, not the scorer in chief, but he's got a point here, and that's his 8th ever championship score. Wonderful point by Paddy Maher. We were looking to Kevin Downs to get possession and get scores at the other end, but it's Maher instead, and now it's a 6-point game, and surely it's Tipperary's.
Yeah, that's a huge score for Tip, and Paddy Maher, he's one of their main players, and when he drives up the field like that, the supporters get behind him, and that's a wonderful point with 3 or 4 minutes left.
Free to Limerick. We're looking for miracles. They haven't really created goal chances during this match. Cian Lynch inside towards Dowling. Barry comes out, makes sure he's gonna get it. Then there was a hook on him. Well done that time by Dowling. Mulcahy goes after it, can't get it up onto his stick, tries to spoon it across the field there. Paul Brown across as far as John Fitzgibbon. Fitzgibbon darting in. It's a late point. 1 for John Fitzgibbon, not quite enough. Free coming up, which Darragh Gleeson's going to take. Looking to try and emulate what Brendan Cummins had done, which is to score in the championship, except Brendan did it in an All-Ireland final. Puck out by Nicky Quaid on a disappointing day for Limerick. Can they finish with some style, however? Graham Mulcahy inside towards Dowling, being well marshalled there by James McGrath. And the reinforcements are there to help out. That time it was Donna Maher. Loose ball, running kindly for Paul Brown. As far as Kevin Downs, darting away from the first challenge. Can Downs do something special here? What a good save! Great goal kicking that time, and there is a goal! It's not quite over just yet. Tom Morrissey, I think, the one who came up and hit it eventually. Morrissey, the goal scorer, after Downs was denied, flashed in past Darren Gleeson, and it's now a 2-point game. Don't quite sell the tickets for the Munster final involving Tip and Waterford just yet, because you never know.
Well, just 2 minutes there, and I think if you look at that passage of play, Kevin Downs got the ball, he threw it actually past his man, and that should have been a free to Tip, but they got away with it. Good shot, and I'd be disappointed if I was the Tip defence coach there with the efforts to block Tom Morrissey when he got the second chance. But just another ball in here now, that's big pressure on the Tip rear guard. They will look very, very comfortable, and with just a minute or so left of added time, well, the pressure comes on the full back line.
A goal here for Limerick, and they'll beat Tipperary. And to heck with the speculation about the Munster final combatants. Tipperary get it out this time and breathe some relief. And the whistle has gone. It's all over. And Tipperary, in spite of conceding a late goal to Limerick, have won the semi-final by 2 points. Celebrations time for the
match for you.
Well, I suppose things worked out for me in the end, but it was just coming off the hard work the lads were putting in. Shamey working extremely hard there when we were down to 14 men. In fairness to Bubba's, it wasn't like him to do that, but he'll be back again stronger than ever.
It was all about work, wasn't it? Especially around that middle sector.
Well, exactly.